Okay, so to make a slip knot, you can wrap it around your finger twice, and this is your tail. I'll make it a little longer. You want to make sure your tail's long enough whenever you're working on a project you're going to finish that you can weave it back in so it doesn't come undone later. So when I make my slip knot, you take this strand and take it over the first one, but not off your finger, so it's going to stay right here. And this strand will go off over the other strand and off your finger and around, and you make this nice little loop. And that's the easiest way I've ever been able to make it. Now I'm gonna first show how I wrap the yarn around my hand. So I go around my pinky, across my palm, and then around my index finger like that. Now if I'm using bulkier yarn, I just go between my pinky and my ring finger and then around my index finger, and it lets it slide a little bit better. But for most projects, it's like that. And then sometimes if I need a little tighter tension, I'll wrap that again just to hold that straight. If you keep this straight, you maintain control, like when you yarn over, yarn under, you know, whatever you're going to be doing. Now, when you're holding your work, when you're working on it, you put your middle finger right here behind your work and your thumb on top, so you're kind of pinching it. And you work on a flat plane most of the time. So this is going to be stationary. You're not going to see me move this hand hardly at all. The only part that moves is this hand and the hook. So yarn over, and then you'll see I kind of twist my hook to help pull that through. And you can see I'm holding the work with my middle finger and my thumb, and I'll slowly move that up just to help me maintain control and keep my work flat on that plane. And since this is the front of the work, I'm holding it to where that stays in front. It just helps keep the chain flat and not get twisted as I'm working on it. Because if it gets twisted when you're working the next row, it will look weird. So now to count your rows, you can count these V's on the top or the bumps on the back, or your number of stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm only going to make 10. And then I always make a turning chain. So this is going to be number 11. So it's 10 plus 1. That's how it's written in a lot of patterns. The plus is your turning chain portion. So it doesn't actually count in your final number of stitches for that row. So I'm going to, for single crochet, I like to go through the back bump. I like the neatness of it a little bit better. But you can go through any of these loops, these two in the front or this one in the back. I just prefer to go through the back loop in case I'm doing a border on something, and I just like the way that it looks better. So you go through the work, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over, pull through two, and that's a single crochet. It's a little more difficult to go through the back bump, but since you're only doing that on the first row, my first row is just slow. I kind of keep everything pretty close together, and I'm just letting the yarn slide through my hand as I pull it with the hook, but my hand's kind of staying stationary. You can tell, like, it's not really changing position that much. So then to make sure that we have the correct count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so now I'm going to chain 1 from a turning chain. And for half double crochet, you yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull back through the work. So now you're going to have 3 loops on your hook instead of 2 with the single. So yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. The only thing we're adding is yarning over before the stitch starts. And then single crochet, you yarn over and pull through just like that. And then right here we have 3 loops instead of 2 with a single crochet. So you yarn over and pull through all 3. So the only extra step we're really adding is yarning over before going into the stitch, because we're still finishing the stitch in the same sort of fashion. There's just an extra loop there. And when you're working through the second row and from this row on, different patterns will call for different things, but just a regular stitch will go through both of these loops on the top, on that V, like that. And this last stitch is always a little funky on my first row. Like that. Now, when we do half double, we would chain up 2, usually 1 or 2. It's really just how tight you want the end of it to be. But when we do double crochet, you do chain up 2 or 3, just to get that height. So for double crochet, you yarn over, go into the work, and draw up a loop. So now you have 3. But on this one, you yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. So yarn over, go into the work, yarn over and pull up a loop, pull off 2, pull off 2. And it makes a much taller stitch. This is good for making blankets, and it's the basic stitch when you make a granny square. Because it is taller, it works up faster. It's the base stitch whenever you're making a corner to corner. It's one of just the really common stitches, just like a single, half double, and a treble. You can see single, half double, and double. You can see kind of the height difference. Now for treble, you chain 3 for sure. You're going to need that. You yarn over twice and then work 2 off at a time, just like the double crochet, except we're going to do it 3 times this time. So yarn over again, go into the work, yarn over and pull up a loop, work off 2, work off 2, work off 2. And that's an even taller stitch. The crochet hearts that I made were used all of these stitches, plus a slip stitch, which is like kind of like a single crochet, except whenever you yarn through, when you pull the yarn through your work, you just work off immediately. You don't yarn over again.
I just kind of wanted to get to know how the work feels because it's been...
Okay, now for a puff stitch, which is what was in that farmhouse granny square, I'm going to chain 3. Actually, I'll chain 2. I think 2 will be tall enough. Okay, so we yarn over, and we're going to have 9 loops on our hook. Okay, so yarn over, go into the work, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 loops there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to yarn over and pull through all 9 of those loops, and then we're going to do a chain stitch to close it. So it makes a little puffy stitch like this. And then you skip 1, yarn over, So, and we pull it up so it's tall and loose like that. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's tall, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. And you can do every one, but I think it makes them like too close together. Some patterns will call for it. When I'm teaching, I usually skip one so that you can see the actual stitch. So we're gonna yarn over, pull through. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I count a lot in my head when I'm doing this. I usually watch like Grey's Anatomy and just let it play on the TV. I didn't skip there, so you can see it makes it a little more solid. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What was that? Bubby, did you break something? Where did you get all that?
I don't know.
Are you climbing? You better not be climbing. Go play in your bedroom, Bubba.
Mom lives in the car. Yeah.
Oh, that goes to my TV, I think.
No.
Thank you.
No, it's right in the stove. Daddy, can you play some puppet with me? Oh, David Page with me.
It's probably their kids. I don't want to add another thick stitch right there, so I'm just going to do a double crochet to finish this row off. It's kind of pushed out the row a little bit because it's thicker, but I don't usually mix stitches like this.